Hi everyone, just want to give you guys a quick look into what I do on a daily basis. I have a new watch list over here. I pulled this off of somebody from Twitter. From here, I'm just going through my list. Going to go through my same technical analysis. Going to filter them through my set of eyes. Over here, we got a series of higher highs and higher lows. They may have developed this list through earnings or something like that. I don't really care. But over here, the first thing I'm looking at is volume. Volume is decent, but you're not getting over 1 million shares per day. Over here, I do have some pullbacks. I'm going to start to measure some of these pullbacks. What I'm going to do, I'm going to walk it backwards. A lot of people can talk about this. I'm going to look at how these pullbacks match up to other pullbacks in the chart's history. Over here, we have a pullback over here. Very, very similar. If I were to use this trend line right here, that pivot high to pivot low, this pullback right here, $2.26. How about this pullback? This pullback is slightly bigger, $2.39. So over here, $2.26, $2.39. Now, I'm not going to be chasing this new recent high. What I'm going to do, I'm going to set it up for the next pullback. So clicking from that pivot high, pivot low, pivot high. That'll be my first price relationship. Over here as well, pivot high, pivot low, pivot high. Now, if it continues to show up to the upside, I'm going to just have to redrag these lines to recalculate my 𝗕𝗵𝗁𝗃 support. Over here, I'm going to do a little pull with my fib retracements. We do have the 50% retracements. So right now, I'm in control of this chart. I'm not doing anything up here until it starts to exhibit what I want to see. There's nothing to be done on this chart. So that would be the first chart over here. NEX, over here, I'm going to remove some of these lines. I have taken a look at this before. Right here, that's why I have another chart that is just shooting to the upside. I'm not going to be chasing this. Once again, I'm going to look at some of these pullbacks, that pivot high, pivot low, pivot high. I can already tell this one's going to be short compared to this one over here. This is a deeper pullback from that pivot high to pivot low. Over here, how about this pullback over here? Also not consistent. I don't like charts that are inconsistent with their pullbacks. Let's look for something that's a little bit more expensive. Alright, and that's another thing that you can do. When you get a new watch list, you want to sort these guys by how much they cost per share, right? So you're not jumping from place to place, you're not jumping within sectors. I like to see how, as I gradually go down this list, I'm kind of just filtering them one by one through my set of eyes. Over here, we have the Boroden Industries. I don't know what they do, but we have a pullback over here, pullback over here. That starts to measure. Over here, I'm going to use my Fibonacci extensions, clicking from that pivot high, pivot low, pivot high. You can see if I walk it backwards, these are very similar in dollar amount, right? So clicking from that pivot high to pivot low, over here, I have another pullback, pivot high to pivot low. And this is the type of work a lot of people don't want to do because it takes a lot of time. Now, if you start to develop a different sense for looking at these charts, okay, you can see the micro expressions on this chart if you look at enough charts. For example, I'm going to start to measure this small little pullback, okay, that pivot high to pivot low with this pullback over here. So these are not matching, okay, so I'm not really taking that serious. But this pullback in the middle is deeper than these two. Okay, this one is a pullback, $54.45. This one's $55. And you're going to start to develop an eye to look at these pullbacks. This one's over $60. And that's how I go from decision to decision. So over here, I can start to map out some 𝗕𝗵𝗁𝗃 support. Clicking from that pivot high, pivot low, pivot high. Once again, I'm not going to be chasing that new recent high. I'm going to look for a pullback that it has demonstrated itself at least twice in the history of this chart. Let's look at another one. This one's, okay, this is an ETF in oil and gas, but even in this one, I'm not going to be chasing this one up here, right? I'm going to look for the next pullback. AMR over here, got some big moves to the upside, also not chasing. So all these charts this guy has on his list, maybe he's been holding them for quite some time, he's doing well with them. But over here, I'm interested in pullbacks back over here, Mosaic, okay? So right now, there's no play for me, looking for the next pullback. And within this segment right here, I like to measure these two pullbacks. For example, I'm going to just do a trend line, looking for that pivot high, pivot low. What are these measuring? This one's $12.43, $11.18. How about this pullback right here? $9. So over here, you can make a case for this if I want a deeper pullback, and these are pretty violent pullbacks to the downside. So over here, I can start to map out some potential areas of support. Okay, pivot high, pivot low, pivot high. I'm looking for a pocket of potential support, and these are just 2 price relationships. I really need to find a 3 price relationship. There's a 3 price relationship here, but as you know, the more price relationships you have, the better. The stronger that potential support is. So over here, I just have a pocket of support. It may hold, it may not hold, but I'm just planning. If it does decide to pull back, I'm looking to see how price reacts to the $64 area, 65. From here, can I get a trigger to go long? To repeat the pattern that I demonstrated just a couple weeks prior, right? So over here, what is sale point? Okay, I don't really deal with these gap ups, so I'm not going to talk about that. See, all these charts are racing to the upside. And a lot of people, they love to chase these guys to the upside. I've never been a guy like that. So you guys got to know what's right for you in your trading plan, right? So this watch list, it's not really to my liking because, and you have to know, what is your trading plan? How do you look for high probability setups in the markets? Right? What is your decision from decision to decision? What do you do? Over here, Peabody. I also talked about this before, but over here, there's no play for me. I'm not going to chase this $32 stock, but I'm going to measure some potential pullbacks. For example, over here, this pullback right here, sit out for me, and over here, I have another pullback. But I can already tell this one's bigger. This one's an $8.71 pullback. This one over here, $7. How about this pullback right here? This is an $11 pullback. So we got a $8, $7 pullbacks. So it's just for the sake of practice, right? You're going through these charts, you're looking for potential pullbacks in the chart's history, when you're mapping out areas of support. And you can see how these are not really close to one another. So I ignore charts like this. So when you come to my channel, you find that I have these trade recommendations on. That's because I went through a lot of these charts to find what is the best setup. And that's what I go with when market opens. So it's not haphazard. I'm going through it because I have a plan in place. I know what I'm looking for. And over here, with all these charts hitting these extensions, nothing for me to do. In fact, what you can do is also practicing Poland extensions. For example, if I were to click from that pivot high to pivot low, where is this extending to? We already reached that 113, 1272 extension to the upside. How about over here? Last time we had an extension, also got up above that 113, 1272 extension. And that's how you can have profit taking. You can start to measure out proportionally when charts go up and down, right? So you can say that when charts go up and down like this, so markets go up, markets go down, markets go up, and this would be a really good practice for you to do, to really see the chart for what it is. It's a series, is this charts going up, charts going down, back and forth, right? And that demystifies the stock market a little bit, right? Markets go up, markets go down, markets go up, markets go down, up and down, up and down. And within this ranges, can we find repeatable patterns? So hopefully this is a very helpful video for you. Leave a comment below and let me know what you think. So when I get a new watch list, where I find somebody on Twitter tweeting out their watch list, I go through, put it in ThinkOrSwim. From here, I'm going to just look through this list and see if I can find my setups. If you'd like to learn how to find high probability setups using Fibonacci analysis, check out my course in the descriptions below. If you haven't subscribed to our channel, subscribe now. Hit that notification button. Our first goal is 1,000 subs. We go over cryptocurrencies as well as US equities. Love to hear from you in the comments area. Talk to you soon.